Let's get ready for the Pennsylvania real estate exam with 100 questions covering state-specific laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It could be key to your exam prep. We'll tell you how in just a minute. Now let's get started.
Let's jump right into licensing requirements and procedures. Pennsylvania licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to apply for a real estate license in Pennsylvania? Is it A, 18 years, B, 21 years, C, 16 years, or D, 25 years? The answer is A, 18 years. In Pennsylvania, applicants must be at least 18 years old to apply for a real estate license. This ensures that the applicant is legally an adult and can enter into binding contracts. How many hours of pre-licensing education are required for a salesperson license in Pennsylvania? Is it A, 60 hours, B, 75 hours, C, 90 hours, or D, 100 hours? The answer is B, 75 hours. Pennsylvania mandates 75 hours of pre-licensing education for a salesperson license. This includes courses on real estate fundamentals and practice to prepare candidates for the licensing exam.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsy.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsy, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
Which of the following is a requirement for maintaining an active real estate license in Pennsylvania? Is it A, submit a new application annually, B, pass a new licensing exam every 5 years, C, complete continuing education every 2 years, or D, attend a state conference annually? The answer is C, complete continuing education every 2 years. To maintain an active license, Pennsylvania requires real estate professionals to complete continuing education every 2 years. This ensures that licensees stay informed about changes in the real estate industry and regulations. Which of the following is required to be submitted with a real estate license application in Pennsylvania? Is it A, proof of residency, B, criminal background check, C, credit score report, or D, employment history? The answer is B, criminal background check. In Pennsylvania, a criminal background check is required to be submitted with a real estate license application to ensure the applicant's suitability for licensure. This check helps maintain industry integrity. Continuing education requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required for real estate license renewal in Pennsylvania? Is it A, 14 hours, B, 20 hours, C, 10 hours, or D, 16 hours? The answer is A, 14 hours. In Pennsylvania, real estate licensees must complete 14 hours of continuing education every 2 years to renew their licenses. This requirement ensures that professionals stay updated with industry standards and regulations. Which of the following topics is not typically covered in the mandatory continuing education courses for Pennsylvania real estate licensees? Is it A, ethics, B, fair housing, C, advanced real estate mathematics, or D, legal updates? The answer is C, advanced real estate mathematics. Pennsylvania's continuing education courses typically cover topics like ethics, fair housing, and legal updates. Advanced real estate mathematics is generally not a mandatory subject for continuing education. How often must Pennsylvania real estate licensees complete their continuing education requirements? Is it A, annually, B, every 2 years, C, every 3 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is B, every 2 years. Pennsylvania real estate licensees are required to complete their continuing education every 2 years. This biennial cycle aligns with the license renewal period and ensures ongoing professional development. What happens if a Pennsylvania real estate licensee fails to complete the required continuing education by the renewal deadline? Is it A, the license is automatically renewed without penalty? B, the license is revoked permanently? C, the licensee must pay a fine but can continue practicing? Or D, the license is placed on inactive status? The answer is D. The license is placed on inactive status. If a licensee does not complete the required continuing education by the renewal deadline, their license will be placed on inactive status until the requirements are met. This prevents them from legally practicing real estate. Which of the following is a valid reason for a Pennsylvania real estate licensee to request an extension for completing continuing education requirements? Is it A, medical emergency? B, desire to take a vacation? C, preference for online courses? Or D, busy work schedule? The answer is A, medical emergency. Pennsylvania may grant extensions for continuing education completion due to valid reasons such as medical emergencies, military service, or other significant hardships. These exceptions are considered on a case-by-case basis. Pennsylvania-specific exam structure and content. What is the time limit given to complete the Pennsylvania real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 2 hours, B, 3 hours, C, 4 hours, or D, 5 hours? The answer is B, 3 hours. The Pennsylvania real estate licensing exam is designed to be completed within 3 hours. This time frame allows candidates to adequately address both national and state-specific questions. What is the format of the Pennsylvania real estate licensing exam? Is it A, essay-based questions, B, multiple-choice questions, C, true-false questions, or D, oral examination? The answer is B, multiple-choice questions. The Pennsylvania real estate licensing exam is divided into 2 sections, a national portion and a state-specific portion, each with multiple-choice questions. What is the passing score for the Pennsylvania real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 75%, B, 70%, C, 80%, or D, 85%? The answer is A, 75%. To pass the Pennsylvania real estate licensing exam, candidates must achieve at least a 75% score. This benchmark ensures that candidates have a sufficient understanding of real estate laws and practices.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Let's continue with a review of Pennsylvania real estate laws and regulations. Pennsylvania-specific fair housing laws. Which Pennsylvania law prohibits discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, or national origin? Is it A, Pennsylvania Fair Housing Act, B, Pennsylvania Human Relations Act, C, Pennsylvania Equal Housing Act, or D, Pennsylvania Civil Rights Act? The answer is B, Pennsylvania Human Relations Act. The Pennsylvania Human Relations Act extends federal fair housing protections, prohibiting discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, and national origin, among other categories. Under Pennsylvania law, which of the following groups is not explicitly protected from housing discrimination? Is it A, race, B, disability, C, political affiliation, or D, gender? The answer is C, political affiliation. While Pennsylvania law protects many groups, it does not explicitly list political affiliation as a protected class in housing discrimination cases. What is the role of the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission concerning fair housing? Is it A, enforces state laws prohibiting housing discrimination? B, sets prices for housing in Pennsylvania? C, provides housing to low-income families? Or D, approves real estate licenses? The answer is A, enforces state laws prohibiting housing discrimination. The Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission enforces state laws prohibiting discrimination, including in housing, ensuring compliance, and addressing complaints of discrimination. In Pennsylvania, which of the following is a legal reason to deny housing to an applicant? Is it A, race, B, religion, C, family status, or D, financial qualifications? The answer is D, financial qualifications. Landlords can legally deny housing based on financial qualifications, such as insufficient income or poor credit history, as these are not protected classes under fair housing laws. Pennsylvania-specific contract requirements. What is the required minimum earnest money deposit in Pennsylvania real estate contracts? Is it A, $500, B, $1,000, C, no minimum, or D, $5,000? The answer is C, no minimum. In Pennsylvania, there is no mandated minimum earnest money deposit for real estate contracts. The amount is negotiable between the buyer and seller, ensuring flexibility in transactions. Which document must be provided to buyers under Pennsylvania law when selling a home built before 1978? Is it A, property condition disclosure, B, lead-based paint disclosure, C, seller's affidavit, or D, radon disclosure? The answer is B, lead-based paint disclosure. Sellers must provide a lead-based paint disclosure for homes built before 1978. This federal requirement aims to protect buyers from the health risks associated with lead-based paint. Under Pennsylvania law, how long does a buyer have to cancel a purchase agreement after receiving the property disclosure statement? Is it A, 5 days, B, 3 days, C, 7 days, or D, 10 days? The answer is A, 5 days. Buyers in Pennsylvania have 5 days to rescind a purchase agreement upon receiving the property disclosure statement, allowing them time to consider any disclosed issues. What is the primary purpose of the Pennsylvania Real Estate Seller Disclosure Act? Is it A, to regulate real estate agent commissions, B, to standardize property appraisal processes, C, to enforce zoning laws, or D, to require sellers to disclose known material defects? The answer is D, to require sellers to disclose known material defects. The Act mandates that sellers disclose known material defects to buyers, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making in real estate transactions. Overview of Pennsylvania real estate statutes. Which of the following is required for a real estate licensee to legally practice in Pennsylvania? Is it A, a personal real estate website, B, affiliation with a licensed broker, C, membership in a local real estate association, or D, completion of a real estate marketing course? The answer is B, affiliation with a licensed broker. In Pennsylvania, a real estate licensee must be affiliated with a licensed broker to legally practice real estate. This ensures accountability and compliance with state regulations. What is the primary purpose of the Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission? Is it A, to set property tax rates, B, to provide real estate education, C, to regulate real estate practice, or D, to issue building permits? The answer is C, to regulate real estate practice. The Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission is tasked with regulating the practice of real estate to protect the public interest, ensuring ethical and professional standards are maintained. Under Pennsylvania law, how long must a real estate broker retain transaction records? Is it A, 3 years, B, 1 year, C. 5 years, or D. 7 years? The answer is A. 3 years. Pennsylvania law requires brokers to retain transaction records for at least 3 years. This ensures that documentation is available for audits and disputes. Which of the following activities requires a real estate license in Pennsylvania? Is it A. posting a property advertisement, B. providing general market information, C. attending an open house, or D. listing a property for sale? The answer is D. listing a property for sale. Listing a property for sale requires a real estate license, as it involves representing a client in a real estate transaction, which is regulated by state law. Let's continue with Pennsylvania property ownership and land use. Types of property ownership, e.g., fee simple, leasehold, joint tenancy. What is the primary characteristic of a fee simple estate in Pennsylvania? Is it A. complete ownership with no time limit, B. ownership limited to a specific period, C. ownership shared with the government, or D. ownership that ends upon death? The answer is A. complete ownership with no time limit. A fee simple estate represents the highest form of property ownership, granting the owner complete control over the land indefinitely, subject only to government powers such as taxation and eminent domain. Which type of property ownership allows 2 or more people to own a property with rights of survivorship in Pennsylvania? Is it A. tenancy in common, B. joint tenancy, C. tenancy by the entirety, or D. community property? The answer is B. joint tenancy. Joint tenancy includes the right of survivorship, meaning if one owner dies, their share automatically passes to the surviving owner, bypassing probate. What differentiates a leasehold estate from a fee simple estate in Pennsylvania? Is it A. leasehold estates have no time restrictions, B. fee simple estates require periodic renewal, C. leasehold estates grant full ownership rights, or D. leasehold estates are for a specific term? The answer is D. Leasehold estates are for a specific term. A leasehold estate grants the right to use and occupy land for a specific period, whereas a fee simple estate provides indefinite ownership rights. In Pennsylvania, which form of ownership is unique to married couples and includes a right of survivorship? Is it A. joint tenancy, B. tenancy in common, C. tenancy by the entirety, or D. community property? The answer is C. tenancy by the entirety. Tenancy by the entirety is exclusive to married couples, providing survivorship rights, meaning the surviving spouse automatically inherits the deceased spouse's share.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Public versus private land use controls. What is a primary function of zoning laws in Pennsylvania? Is it A. to increase property taxes, B. to regulate land use and development, C. to determine property ownership, or D. to enforce building codes? The answer is B. to regulate land use and development. Zoning laws regulate land use to ensure that community development is orderly and sustainable. They control the types of buildings allowed and their uses, thereby preventing incompatible land uses. Which of the following is a private land use control in Pennsylvania? Is it A. deed restrictions, B. zoning ordinances, C. building permits, or D. eminent domain? The answer is A. deed restrictions. Deed restrictions are private agreements that dictate how property can be used. They are enforced by property owners, unlike public land use controls, which are enforced by government entities. How does a variance differ from a zoning ordinance in Pennsylvania? Is it A, a variance enforces stricter land use regulations? B, a variance is a type of zoning ordinance? C, a variance allows deviation from zoning rules? Or D, a variance applies to all properties in a zone? The answer is C. A variance allows deviation from zoning rules. A variance is an exception to the zoning ordinance granted to a property owner when strict compliance would cause undue hardship. It allows deviation from specific zoning rules under certain conditions. What is the primary purpose of a comprehensive plan in Pennsylvania land use? Is it A, to set property tax rates? B, to enforce building codes? C, to regulate private property agreements? Or D, to guide long-term land use and development? The answer is D, to guide long-term land use and development. A comprehensive plan provides a long-term vision for land use and development, guiding zoning and public policy decisions to promote orderly growth and community welfare. Which entity typically enforces zoning laws in Pennsylvania? Is it A, local municipalities? B, state government? C, federal government? Or D, homeowners associations? The answer is A, local municipalities. Local municipalities are responsible for enforcing zoning laws, ensuring that land use complies with established regulations to maintain community standards and orderly development. Land use and zoning laws. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in Pennsylvania? Is it A, to increase property taxes? B, to regulate land use and development? C, to enforce building codes? Or D, to allocate municipal resources? The answer is B, to regulate land use and development. Zoning laws in Pennsylvania are designed to regulate land use, ensuring orderly development and preventing land use conflicts. They categorize land into zones, each with specific regulations governing the type of structures and activities allowed. Which of the following is a common zoning designation in Pennsylvania? Is it A, agricultural? B, historical? C, commercial? Or D, recreational? The answer is C, commercial. Residential, commercial, and industrial are common zoning designations. These categories help determine what types of buildings and activities are permissible in certain areas. What is a variance in the context of Pennsylvania's zoning laws? Is it A, a legal exception to zoning regulations? B, an amendment to zoning ordinances? C, a temporary construction permit? Or D, a type of zoning classification? The answer is A, a legal exception to zoning regulations. A variance is a legal allowance for a property owner to deviate from current zoning requirements under specific conditions, often granted when strict enforcement would cause undue hardship. How does a conditional use permit differ from a variance in Pennsylvania zoning? Is it A, it is a permanent change to zoning? B, it allows specific uses under set conditions? C, it is granted by the state government? Or D, it requires a zoning ordinance amendment? The answer is B, it allows specific uses under set conditions. A conditional use permit allows a property to be used in a way that is not typically permitted in a zoning district, but which can be allowed under certain conditions. It differs from a variance, which is an exception to zoning laws. Condominiums and HOAs. What is a key responsibility of the homeowners association in a Pennsylvania condominium? Is it A, managing individual unit interiors? B, approving all property sales? C, maintaining common areas? Or D, setting property tax rates? The answer is C, maintaining common areas. In Pennsylvania, the HOA is responsible for maintaining common areas, ensuring they are safe and well kept. This includes landscaping, shared facilities, and any communal structures. What is the purpose of a condominium declaration in Pennsylvania? Is it A, to legally establish the condominium? B, to set rental prices for units? C, to appoint the HOA board members? Or D, to determine the building's architectural style? The answer is A, to legally establish the condominium. A condominium declaration legally establishes the condominium, detailing the rights and responsibilities of unit owners and the HOA, and is critical for governance and property management. Which of the following is a common restriction imposed by HOAs in Pennsylvania? Is it A, prohibiting pet ownership entirely? B, limiting exterior modifications? C, restricting internet service providers? Or D, mandating interior design choices? The answer is B, limiting exterior modifications. HOAs often impose restrictions on exterior modifications to maintain a uniform appearance and preserve property values, which is a common practice in Pennsylvania condominiums. How are HOA fees typically determined in Pennsylvania condominiums? Is it A, by the local government? B, according to the owner's income? C, uniformly across all units? Or D, based on a budget for common expenses? The answer is D, based on a budget for common expenses. HOA fees are calculated based on the budget for maintaining common areas, services, and reserves for future repairs, and are divided among owners, often proportional to unit size. Environmental issues. Which Pennsylvania law governs the regulation of wetland areas to ensure environmental protection? Is it A, Pennsylvania Land Use Law? B, Pennsylvania Waterways Act? C, Pennsylvania Clean Streams Law? Or D, Pennsylvania Environmental Protection Act? The answer is C, Pennsylvania Clean Streams Law. The Pennsylvania Clean Streams Law regulates activities affecting wetlands, ensuring their protection by controlling pollution and maintaining water quality standards. What is the primary purpose of a conservation easement in Pennsylvania? Is it A, to increase property taxes? B, to preserve land for environmental protection? C, to enhance urban development? Or D, to allow unrestricted land use? The answer is B, to preserve land for environmental protection. Conservation easements are legal agreements that restrict land use to protect its conservation values, often preserving natural habitats and landscapes for future generations. In Pennsylvania, what is the significance of the Agricultural Security Area designation? Is it A, it increases the land's market value? B, it allows for commercial development? C, it reduces property taxes? Or D, it protects farmland from restrictive ordinances? The answer is D, it protects farmland from restrictive ordinances. An ASA designation provides protection against local ordinances that restrict normal farming operations, promoting agricultural sustainability and land preservation. Which agency oversees the enforcement of environmental regulations related to property use in Pennsylvania? Is it A, Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection? B, Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources? C, Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission? Or D, Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture? The answer is A, Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection enforces regulations concerning air, water, and land resources to ensure sustainable property use and environmental protection.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Now let's review Pennsylvania agency law and ethics. Agency relationship laws. In Pennsylvania, what is the primary duty of a real estate agent when representing a buyer? Is it A, to ensure the seller gets the best price? B. To act in the buyer's best interest. C. To remain neutral between buyer and seller. Or D. To disclose all offers to the seller. The answer is B. To act in the buyer's best interest. In Pennsylvania, a real estate agent's primary duty when representing a buyer is to act in the buyer's best interest, ensuring loyalty and confidentiality while providing informed advice. Which of the following is a requirement for establishing an agency relationship in Pennsylvania real estate? Is it A. A verbal agreement between parties, B. An implied understanding of duties, C. A written agreement outlining terms, or D. A handshake and mutual consent? The answer is C. A written agreement outlining terms. In Pennsylvania, an agency relationship is established through a written agreement that outlines the terms and scope of the agent's representation, ensuring transparency and mutual understanding. What is the consequence for a Pennsylvania real estate agent who breaches fiduciary duties? Is it A. Disciplinary actions by the licensing board, B. A warning letter from the client, C. A temporary reduction in commission, or D. Mandatory additional training? The answer is A. Disciplinary actions by the licensing board. Breaching fiduciary duties can lead to disciplinary actions, including fines, suspension, or revocation of the agent's license, as it undermines trust and professional integrity. In Pennsylvania, which of the following is not a fiduciary duty owed by an agent to their principal? Is it A. B. Confidentiality, C. Disclosure, or D. Providing legal advice? The answer is D. Providing legal advice. Fiduciary duties include loyalty, confidentiality, disclosure, obedience, and accounting. Providing legal advice is outside the scope of a real estate agent's duties. What must a Pennsylvania real estate agent do if they have a personal interest in a property transaction? Is it A. Withdraw from the transaction, B. Keep the information confidential, C. Disclose the interest to all parties, or D. Negotiate better terms for themselves? The answer is C. Disclose the interest to all parties. Agents are legally required to disclose any personal interest in a transaction to all parties involved, ensuring transparency and maintaining ethical standards. Fiduciary duties and client representation. What fiduciary duty requires a Pennsylvania real estate agent to act in the best interests of their client, putting the client's interests above their own? Is it A. Duty of loyalty, B. Duty of disclosure, C. Duty of confidentiality, or D. Duty of care? The answer is A. Duty of loyalty. The duty of loyalty obligates agents to prioritize their clients' interests above their own or others, ensuring actions taken are in the client's best interest. Which fiduciary duty obligates a Pennsylvania real estate agent to keep a client's information confidential, even after the agency relationship ends? Is it A. Duty of loyalty, B. Duty of disclosure, C. Duty of confidentiality, or D. Duty of care? The answer is C. Duty of confidentiality. The duty of confidentiality requires agents to protect their clients' private information indefinitely, even after the termination of the agency relationship. In Pennsylvania, which fiduciary duty requires an agent to provide all material information to their client that could affect their decisions? Is it A. Duty of obedience, B. Duty of disclosure, C. Duty of loyalty, or D. Duty of care? The answer is B. Duty of disclosure. The duty of disclosure requires agents to inform clients of any material facts that could influence their decisions, ensuring informed decision-making. Which fiduciary duty ensures that a Pennsylvania real estate agent must follow all lawful instructions provided by their client? Is it A. Duty of obedience, B. Duty of loyalty, C. Duty of disclosure, or D. Duty of confidentiality? The answer is A. Duty of obedience. The duty of obedience requires agents to adhere to all lawful instructions from their clients, provided these instructions do not violate the law or ethical standards. Pennsylvania Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. Which of the following actions is considered a violation of Pennsylvania's ethics guidelines for real estate agents? Is it A. Disclosing financial interest in a property, B. Accepting undisclosed commissions from a third party, C. Providing accurate property information, or D. Maintaining confidentiality of client information? The answer is B. Accepting undisclosed commissions from a third party. Accepting undisclosed commissions is unethical as it breaches transparency and trust, which are core to Pennsylvania's real estate ethics guidelines. Clients must be informed of all financial transactions. What is the primary purpose of the Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission's Code of Ethics? Is it A. To ensure integrity and fairness in transactions, B. To increase real estate agent commissions, C. To mandate specific marketing strategies, or D. To prioritize agent relationships over client needs? The answer is A. To ensure integrity and fairness in transactions. The Code of Ethics aims to ensure all real estate transactions are conducted with integrity, fairness, and in the best interest of the public, promoting trust in the profession. How should a Pennsylvania real estate agent handle a conflict of interest according to state ethics guidelines? Is it A. Ignore the conflict and proceed, B. Terminate the client relationship, C. Disclose the conflict to all parties involved, or D. Seek advice from a colleague? The answer is C. Disclose the conflict to all parties involved. Agents must disclose any potential conflicts of interest to all parties involved, ensuring transparency and allowing clients to make informed decisions about the transaction. What is the consequence of a Pennsylvania real estate agent failing to adhere to the state's Code of Ethics? Is it A. Increased client trust, B. Higher commission rates, C. Mandatory ethics training, or D. Disciplinary actions such as fines or license revocation? The answer is D. Disciplinary actions such as fines or license revocation. Violations can lead to disciplinary actions such as fines, suspension, or revocation of the agent's license, ensuring compliance and protection of public interest. Let's continue with Pennsylvania property valuation. Basic principles of property valuation. Which principle of property valuation states that the value of a property is influenced by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property? Is it A. Principle of contribution, B. Principle of substitution, C. Principle of anticipation, or D. Principle of conformity? The answer is B. Principle of substitution. The principle of substitution suggests that a property's value is determined by the cost of acquiring a similar property. This principle is fundamental in appraisals and often used when comparable sales are analyzed. What principle of property valuation explains that the value of a property is affected by the future benefits it is expected to provide? Is it A. Principle of anticipation, B. Principle of change, C. Principle of progression, or D. Principle of regression? The answer is A. Principle of anticipation. The principle of anticipation is key in property valuation as it bases value on expected future benefits. This is crucial for investors forecasting income from properties. In Pennsylvania property valuation, which principle suggests that the value of a property is enhanced when it conforms to the standards of the surrounding properties? Is it A. Principle of competition, B. Principle of balance, C. Principle of substitution, or D. Principle of conformity? The answer is D. Principle of conformity. The principle of conformity holds that a property's value is maximized when it aligns with the characteristics of its surroundings, ensuring marketability and appeal. What principle in property valuation states that the value of a property can be affected by external factors such as economic conditions or government regulations? Is it A, principle of contribution, B, principle of substitution, C, principle of change, or D, principle of anticipation? The answer is C, principle of change. The principle of change recognizes that property value is dynamic and can be influenced by external conditions like market trends, regulations, and economic shifts.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Sales comparison, cost, and income approaches. Which approach to property valuation is most appropriate for a newly constructed commercial building in Pennsylvania? Is it A, sales comparison approach, B, cost approach, C, income approach, or D, market approach? The answer is B, cost approach. The cost approach is best for newly constructed properties, as it estimates the value by calculating the cost to replace or reproduce the building minus depreciation plus land value. In Pennsylvania, what is a key factor in the sales comparison approach when valuing residential properties? Is it A, location, B, replacement cost, C, net operating income, or D, depreciation? The answer is A, location. Location is crucial in the sales comparison approach as it directly affects property value. Comparable properties should be in similar locations to ensure accuracy. What is the primary purpose of using the income approach in property valuation? Is it A, estimate land value, B, determine replacement cost, C, value income generating properties, or D, assess market trends? The answer is C, value income generating properties. The income approach is used to estimate the value of income-generating properties by capitalizing future income streams, making it ideal for rental properties. How is depreciation accounted for in the cost approach to property valuation? Is it A, added to land value, B, ignored entirely, C, used to adjust comparable sales, or D, subtracted from replacement cost? The answer is D, subtracted from replacement cost. Depreciation is subtracted from the replacement or reproduction cost to reflect the property's current condition and age, affecting the overall valuation. Now, let's review Pennsylvania real estate financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is the primary purpose of a mortgage loan in Pennsylvania? Is it A, to refinance existing debt, B, to invest in stocks, C, to purchase real estate, or D, to buy a vehicle? The answer is C, to purchase real estate. A mortgage loan in Pennsylvania is primarily used to finance the purchase of a home. It allows the buyer to pay the purchase price over time, with the property serving as collateral. Which type of mortgage is most likely to have changing interest rates over time? Is it A, fixed rate mortgage, B, adjustable rate mortgage, C, reverse mortgage, or D, interest-only mortgage? The answer is B, adjustable rate mortgage. An adjustable rate mortgage has interest rates that can change periodically based on market conditions, unlike fixed rate mortgages, which have constant rates. What is the main benefit of a VA loan for eligible borrowers in Pennsylvania? Is it A, no down payment required, B, lower interest rates guaranteed, C, no closing costs, or D, unlimited loan amount? The answer is A, no down payment required. VA loans offer benefits such as no down payment requirement for eligible veterans, active duty service members, and and certain members of the National Guard and Reserves. What is a common feature of FHA loans that benefits first-time homebuyers? Is it A, high credit score requirement, B, no mortgage insurance, C, fixed interest rates only, or D, low down payment? The answer is D, low down payment. FHA loans are popular among first-time homebuyers due to their low down payment requirement, which can be as low as 3.5% of the purchase price. Loan applications and approval processes. What is the minimum credit score generally required by lenders for a conventional loan approval in Pennsylvania? Is it A, 580, B, 620, C, 700, or D? The answer is B, 620. In Pennsylvania, most lenders require a minimum credit score of 620 for conventional loan approval. This requirement helps lenders assess the risk of lending to a borrower. Which document is essential for verifying a borrower's employment status during the loan application process in Pennsylvania? Is it A, credit report, B, bank statement, C, employment verification letter, or D, tax return? The answer is C, employment verification letter. An employment verification letter is crucial as it confirms the borrower's current employment status, which lenders use to assess income stability and repayment ability. In Pennsylvania, what is the purpose of the loan estimate form provided to borrowers? Is it A, to provide a breakdown of loan terms and costs, B, to finalize the loan agreement, C, to assess property value, or D, to verify borrower's income? The answer is A, to provide a breakdown of loan terms and costs. The loan estimate form provides a detailed breakdown of the loan terms and estimated closing costs, helping borrowers understand the financial implications before committing to the loan. Which of the following is a common reason for loan application denial in Pennsylvania? Is it A, excellent credit score, B, stable employment history, C, low down payment, or D, high debt-to-income ratio? The answer is D, high debt-to-income ratio. A high debt-to-income ratio indicates that the borrower has too much debt relative to their income, making it risky for lenders to approve the loan.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Pennsylvania mortgage disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Pennsylvania Mortgage Disclosure Act? Is it A, to ensure borrowers are informed about mortgage terms and costs, B, to regulate the interest rates offered by lenders, C, to provide tax incentives for first-time homebuyers, or D, to limit the number of mortgages a borrower can have? The answer is A, to ensure borrowers are informed about mortgage terms and costs. The Pennsylvania Mortgage Disclosure Act aims to ensure borrowers are fully informed about the terms and costs of their mortgage, promoting transparency and protecting consumer rights. Which of the following must be disclosed to borrowers under Pennsylvania mortgage regulations? Is it A, lender's profit margin, B, the borrower's credit score, C, annual percentage rate and loan terms, or D, the lender's annual revenue? The answer is C, annual percentage rate and loan terms. Lenders must disclose the APR, loan terms, and any associated fees to ensure borrowers understand the financial commitment they are making. When must the initial mortgage disclosure be provided to a borrower in Pennsylvania? Is it A, at the time of closing, B, within 3 business days of receiving a loan application, C, 1 week before the first mortgage payment, or D, after the appraisal is completed? The answer is B, within 3 business days of receiving a loan application. The initial mortgage disclosure must be provided within 3 business days of receiving a loan application, ensuring borrowers have timely access to information. Which document summarizes key loan terms and must be provided to borrowers under Pennsylvania law? Is it A, credit report, B, title insurance policy, C, mortgage note, or D, loan estimate? The answer is D, loan estimate. The loan estimate form provides a summary of key loan terms and estimated costs, helping borrowers compare offers and understand their financial obligations. Pennsylvania-specific loan programs. Which Pennsylvania-specific loan program is designed to assist first-time homebuyers with down payment and closing cost assistance? Is it A, PHFA Renovate and Repair Loan, B, PHFA Keystone Home Loan Program, C, PHFA Homestyle Renovation, or D, PHFA Access Modification Program? The answer is B, PHFA Keystone Home Loan Program. The PHFA Keystone Home Loan Program provides financial assistance to first-time homebuyers in Pennsylvania, helping them with down payment and closing costs, making homeownership more accessible. What is the primary objective of the PHFA Access Home Modification Program? Is it A, to provide low-interest loans for energy-efficient upgrades, B, to offer grants for first-time homebuyers, C, to fund home modifications for accessibility, or D, to finance large-scale home renovations? The answer is C, to fund home modifications for accessibility. The PHFA Access Home Modification Program aims to assist homeowners in making their homes more accessible for individuals with disabilities, ensuring safety and comfort within their living environments. Which Pennsylvania loan program allows homeowners to finance both the purchase and renovation of a home? Is it A, PHFA Homestyle Renovation, B, PHFA Keystone Government Loan, C, PHFA Renovate and Repair Loan, or D, PHFA Access Home Modification Program? The answer is A, PHFA Homestyle Renovation. The PHFA Homestyle Renovation Program enables homeowners to finance the purchase of a home and its renovation costs, providing a single mortgage for both purposes. What is a key feature of the PHFA Keystone Government Loan Program? Is it A, offers grants for home modifications, B, provides interest-free loans, C, targets energy-efficient home improvements, or D, backed by federal agencies like FHA and USDA? The answer is D, backed by federal agencies like FHA, VA, and USDA. The PHFA Keystone Government Loan Program offers loans backed by federal government agencies like FHA, VA, and USDA, providing security and potential benefits for eligible borrowers. Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. What is the primary purpose of the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency? Is it A, to regulate real estate agents in Pennsylvania, B, to provide affordable housing and financial assistance, C, to oversee property tax assessments, or D, to manage public transportation funding? The answer is B, to provide affordable housing and financial assistance. The PHFA aims to provide affordable housing options and financial assistance to Pennsylvania residents, focusing on low to moderate income families. It offers various programs to support home ownership and rental housing. Which program does PHFA offer to assist first-time homebuyers? Is it A, Public Housing Voucher Program, B, Rent Relief Program, C, Keystone Home Loan Program, or D, Home Improvement Loan Program? The answer is C, Keystone Home Loan Program. The PHFA offers the Keystone Home Loan Program, specifically designed to assist first-time homebuyers with competitive interest rates and down payment assistance, making homeownership more accessible. How does the PHFA support rental housing developments? Is it A, by providing tax credits and low-interest loans, B, by offering free land to developers, C. By managing all rental properties directly. Or D. By setting rental price controls. The answer is A. By providing tax credits and low-interest loans. PHFA supports rental housing developments by offering tax credits and low-interest loans to developers, encouraging the construction and rehabilitation of affordable rental properties for low-income families. What is the Homeowners Emergency Mortgage Assistance Program offered by PHFA? Is it A. a grant for home renovations, B. a loan for purchasing a new home, C. a program for first-time homebuyers, or D. a financial assistance program to prevent foreclosure? The answer is D. a financial assistance program to prevent foreclosure. HEMF provides temporary financial assistance to homeowners facing foreclosure due to circumstances beyond their control, helping them maintain homeownership while they recover financially. Let's continue with Pennsylvania disclosure requirements and forms. Pennsylvania specific disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the seller's property disclosure statement in Pennsylvania? Is it A. to establish a property's market value, B. to disclose known material defects of the property, C. to provide a history of property ownership, or D. to confirm the property's legal zoning classification? The answer is B. to disclose known material defects of the property. The seller's property disclosure statement is designed to inform potential buyers of any known material defects in a property. This transparency helps buyers make informed decisions and protects sellers from future liability. Which of the following is not required to be disclosed in Pennsylvania's seller's property disclosure statement? Is it A. material defects in the property, B. presence of hazardous substances, C. reason for selling the property, or D. condition of the roof and foundation? The answer is C. reason for selling the property. Sellers in Pennsylvania must disclose material defects, but they are not required to disclose their reason for selling. This information is considered personal and irrelevant to property condition. In Pennsylvania, when must the seller's property disclosure statement be provided to a prospective buyer? Is it A. before the buyer makes a written offer, B. after the buyer's offer is accepted, C. at the closing of the sale, or D. only if the buyer requests it? The answer is A. before the buyer makes a written offer. The disclosure must be provided before the buyer makes a written offer. This timing ensures the buyer has all relevant information to make an informed decision about the purchase. Which entity is responsible for enforcing the Pennsylvania real estate seller disclosure law? Is it A. the local municipality, B. the National Association of Realtors, C. the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, or D. the Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission? The answer is D. the Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission. The Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission oversees the enforcement of real estate laws, including the seller disclosure law. They ensure compliance and address violations within the state. Commonly used Pennsylvania forms. What is the primary purpose of the seller's property disclosure statement in Pennsylvania? Is it A. to inform buyers of known material defects in the property, B. to provide a comprehensive property valuation, C. to outline the terms of the sales contract, or D. to verify the buyer's financing options? The answer is A. to inform buyers of known material defects in the property. The seller's property disclosure statement is required to inform potential buyers about known material defects in a property, ensuring transparency and protecting both parties from future disputes. Which document is used to disclose the presence of lead-based paint in Pennsylvania homes built before 1978? Is it A. seller's property disclosure statement, B. lead-based paint disclosure, C. agreement of sale, or D. home inspection report? The answer is B, lead-based paint disclosure. The lead-based paint disclosure form is federally mandated for homes built before 1978 to ensure buyers are aware of potential lead hazards and can make informed decisions. What is the significance of the consumer notice form in Pennsylvania real estate transactions? Is it A, it outlines the property's zoning restrictions? B, it lists the property's previous owners? C, it explains agency relationships and obligations? Or D, it provides the buyer's financing terms? The answer is C, it explains agency relationships and obligations. The consumer notice form informs consumers about the types of agency relationships available in Pennsylvania and clarifies the roles and obligations of real estate professionals. Which form is used to outline the commission agreement between a seller and a listing agent in Pennsylvania? Is it A, seller's property disclosure statement? B, agreement of sale? C, consumer notice? Or D, listing agreement? The answer is D, listing agreement. The listing agreement specifies the terms of the relationship between the seller and the listing agent, including the commission rate and other contractual obligations. What is the primary purpose of the agreement of sale in Pennsylvania real estate transactions? Is it A, to establish the terms and conditions of the property transaction? B, to disclose environmental hazards? C, to provide a list of included appliances? Or D, to determine the property's market value? The answer is A, to establish the terms and conditions of the property transaction. The agreement of sale is a legally binding contract that outlines the terms and conditions agreed upon by the buyer and seller, ensuring clarity and legality in the transaction. Specific procedures for transactions. What is the primary purpose of the seller's property disclosure statement in Pennsylvania real estate transactions? Is it A, to provide a detailed appraisal of the property's value? B, to disclose known material defects of the property? C, to outline the financing options available for the property? Or D, to list all previous owners of the property? The answer is B, to disclose known material defects of the property. The seller's property disclosure statement is designed to inform buyers about the condition of the property, helping them make informed decisions. It is a legal requirement to ensure transparency in real estate transactions. Which of the following is not required to be disclosed under Pennsylvania's real estate seller disclosure law? Is it A, presence of hazardous substances? B, condition of the roof and structural components? C, seller's personal financial information? Or D, water and sewage system issues? The answer is C, seller's personal financial information. Pennsylvania law mandates disclosure of material defects, but not the seller's personal financial information, which is considered irrelevant to the property's condition. In Pennsylvania, when must the seller's property disclosure statement be provided to a prospective buyer? Is it A, before the buyer makes a written offer? B, at the closing of the transaction? C, after the buyer's home inspection? Or D, when the buyer requests it in writing? The answer is A, before the buyer makes a written offer. The seller's property disclosure statement must be provided before the buyer makes a written offer to ensure they have all necessary information about the property's condition. What happens if a seller in Pennsylvania fails to provide a property disclosure statement? Is it A, the sale is automatically void? B, the buyer must waive their right to the disclosure? C, the buyer must conduct their own investigation? Or D, the seller may face legal action or contract rescission? The answer is D, the seller may face legal action or contract rescission. Failure to provide a disclosure statement can lead to legal consequences, including potential rescission of the contract or liability for damages if defects are discovered post-sale.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.